what we're here for is we need to adjust this neck. Now, adjusting these necks are very easy and very simple. And one of the reasons I like the Peavey guitar made in America versus a Fender is a Fender guitar, normally you have to adjust right here in this area. So to adjust the neck on the Fender guitar, it's a pain in the ass. Sometimes you gotta basically take off the whole pick guard, move the pick guard out of the way, then you gotta tune your guitar to the tuning that you want, and then you adjust it right in here. I don't like that. I like the adjustment to be up on the top of the neck right here where I can get to it anytime I need it, and it just makes it easy and simple. Now this guitar here is tuned in open G. I think you heard that. The problem that we have from the changing of the weather from hot to cold, this, that, and the other, the neck has basically bowed on us. So we need to adjust the neck. Now this neck here, it doesn't have a bow this way, it has a hump bow in it. All right, and for some particular reason, this is a very temperamental guitar, and I have to do adjustments on this, not really super often, but more than others. So what we're going to do to adjust this neck and get the bow out, very simple and easy, once again, is you only need 3 tools. You need a feeler gauge for one. Let's go ahead and get that out. And I set mine at the 12th fret in this area right in here between the 9th and 12th fret area. I set it at approximately, if you take a feeler gauge, it will be a 5, 6, or 7, depending on the string height that you want. Now remember, in accordance, once you get your bridge set properly for the, what do they call that? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So you have to have your bridge set for the angle of your neck. I'm not going to get technical and say all the technical terms. I don't know them, okay? I don't know. I'm sorry, that's called radius, okay? What is this radius? I don't fucking know what the radius is. I don't give a shit. I play the guitar and that's all I know. So you have to have the radius of your bridge set to the radius of your neck. If that is not in tune to the radius like we're talking, then what happens is that it doesn't matter what you do to this neck to adjust it, you'll always have a string buzzing somewhere. So it's very important to make sure that the radius of your bridge, the saddles on the radius, are set with the radius of your neck. So we got a feeler gauge here, and I want it to be between, let's see here, I want it to be between 5, 6, and 7, and hopefully the feeler gauge that you got is in a lot better condition than mine. Okay, so we're going to take that feeler gauge. Now, one more item that you need, and I just made mine myself. This is just a piece of flat bar, I would say 1/8 inch flat bar, and I cut it out, and it's the exact same length of the neck from the nut down. You can see that right there. So what I did is I cut that down, and this is actually my straight bar. You don't have to go buy this, all right? Go to Home Depot, get yourself a piece of flat bar just like I did, and then cut it down to match your neck. Now, I will show you that there's a bow in this. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Can you hear that? Let me do that again. So it is actually rocking right here. Just exactly where I was telling you. It's hitting this fret and it's rocking. That's telling me there's a hump in it. So what I got to do is I have to loosen that neck. I don't want to tighten it up. I got to loosen it. Now the first thing you do is you tune your guitar into the tuning that you're going to normally play it in. Now most people tune it to standard tuning, which is E, A, D, G, B, E. So you go ahead and tune that guitar. And now what we're going to do, we've checked our neck and we notice, we don't even have to get our feeler gauge out because we notice that the neck is rocking. So we already know there's a hump in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen my third string. I'm going to loosen it down. And I'm also going to loosen my fourth string. Now remember, when you are counting strings, you don't start up here. This is not number 1. This is number 6. Number 1 is your high E. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to loosen that up, and then I'm going to pull it out of the way and put it over into the slot of number 2 string. I'm going to take number 4 string, and I am going to get it out of the way as well. Just like that. On a PV guitar, it takes a nut driver, all right? There's actually a nut inside the neck. A lot of guitars have an Allen wrench inside there, and instead of using this, let me get it out here, you will use something of this instead. So the PV actually uses a little socket nut driver. And this is a special tool that when you bought this guitar, it would come with this tool. And you can see that it's got a Phillips screwdriver end on one side. And what that's for, that was to remove the cover. So we're going to go ahead and take our socket and we're going to stick it in here. And we're going to loosen this. So always remember this rule of thumb. Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. That means if you turn it to the left, it's going to loosen up. If you turn it to the right, it will tighten. So we are going to turn it to the left, and we're only going to go a quarter of a turn. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to take the guitar in our lap, and then we are going to take our hand and basically tap the neck. I know this sounds stupid and ridiculous, but what we are doing is releasing the tension of the truss rod and letting our neck naturally flow out. The next thing we're going to do we're going to get our guitar in a minimal minor tuning that we want. Then we're going to take our straight bar and we're going to test it again. And I feel that it's rocking more. So you know what? You know what the problem is? I actually went the wrong way.
Throw on your boardies and grab your board. Short board, long board, fish board, hook. The waves are cranking, it's time to charge. He's taking you left. He's taking you left. She's taking 12.
Do you see what can happen now when you are testing the water? I shouldn't have been loosening the neck. I should have been tightening the truss rod to put a bow in it. I did that on purpose to show you that mistakes can be made. Let's go ahead and take our tool, and now what we're going to do, we're going to loosen the 2 middle strings. Remember I told you that. We're going to get them out of the way. And now, remember when we went 1/4? Remember when we went 1/4 loosey? Now we're going to go 1/2 tighty. So I'm going to bring that all the way over, and then I'm going to catch it one more time, and I'm going to do that one more time. So we basically went back to the original setting that it was, and then we went a quarter turn this way. Now we're going to go ahead and repeat our process. Take it all the way down. Okay, now that we have tightened up our two middle strings back to semi-tuning job, we're going to go ahead and take our flat bar, and I can still feel that there's just a slight, can you hear that? So we're going to go ahead and loosen it up just a little bit more. And I think we might have it. So what I want to do next, just to double check everything, I'm pretty good at doing this. I've been doing this pretty much all my life. I'm going to go ahead and take my flat bar. I'm going to set it across here. And at the 10th fret, in between the 10th and 11th fret here, I'm going to go ahead and pick one of my feeler gauges, and that would be either 5 through 7, depending on how you like to play the best. And we're going to go with 5 and see what happens. And then I'm going to take that feeler gauge, I'm going to set it right on top of the fret. I'm going to go right on top of the fret. I'm not going to go in between it. So I'm going to hold that on here nice and loose. And then we're going to take that, and it's barely touching. You want your feeler gauge to slide in and out of your straight rod and the fret itself. Okay, I think what we just did is we went ahead and took our Home Depot. We bought that at Home Depot, remember? It cost us like $4. We cut it down to fit the length of our neck. We got a feeler gauge that was at 5. This should be around 6 now. I did loosen that about 1/8 of an inch more. We're going to go like this. I'm going to go to the 10th or 11th fret, one of the two, and look at that. Yep, that's it right there. That's the action that I want. And that's about the action that I like right there. Let me go ahead and put that rod on there, that flat bar, and kind of give you an angle. And I don't know if you can see that in there, but we're going to go ahead and take our feeler gauge. I'm trying to do all this with one hand. Please have patience. And then you're going to put your feeler gauge, and you can kind of see it going in and out here. All right, that's about 7. That's a little higher than 7, but I like it like that. I like the action where it's at right there. And the reason I like that action is because when I play guitar, I like to use my... Normally, 9 out of 10 times, the reason you got shithole action is because of your truss rod. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, showing you how to adjust your neck on your guitar the easy and simple way right there.